Did anything go right on this movie?
Run for your life if you have any sense. Run for your life, it's the president. They're coming, they're coming, they're coming after you. They're coming, it's the red, white, and blue.
I came up with this idea 8 years ago, 9 years ago now, 8 years ago when we started, and I love slasher films, I love horror films, and I thought, what would be a funny one? A lot of them are based on holidays. I thought it'd be funny if one was President's Day. I'd never ever pictured it to this extreme. We just made like a really bad version of it.
Oh no, bro! It's fucking George Washington. Bro! No! No! This is the worst President's Day ever!
About a year and a half ago, I got interested in acting, and I found an ad on Craigslist. One of my first things, I was like, hey, I can do that. I guess they needed a bartender or something, and we just stood there all day on this little YouTube video. But that's where I met Ben.
I met Judd when he was an extra on a YouTube Space sketch that I was directing. I found him on Craigslist. He shows me this sketch he made, this like little short YouTube video he made when he was in high school called President's Day. He just made it with his friends, but it was really funny, and the idea and the concept was there. And it got my mind turning, so when the YouTube Space had this horror movie set built, I was like, Judd, you know how we talked about remaking President's Day as a sketch? I think I have the opportunity to do it.
And then we all came together and made a short for President's Day, and that's how I met David.
It's kind of interesting how the project got started. I met the other writer and one of the other producers, Ben, on a set that I was acting on. We kind of became friends then. He calls me up a couple times to work with him, to do a couple YouTube sketches and stuff like that, and then eventually he calls me and he's like, hey, I have this idea with this comedian, Judd Zumwalt, who's the other producer, and we're gonna shoot on the YouTube Space.
John Wilkes Booth. John Wilkes Booth. John Wilkes Booth.
Super Tyrannus.
We looked at it, we were like, that's not good.
But as we were filming it, we realized this actually has a lot of potential.
We were all standing there looking at each other, and one of us said,
This is really funny. What if this was real?
And so we decided not to release the trailer, and instead we just turned it into a full-fledged feature.
And then it became real.
And now you have President's Day.
And so after that, obviously the project got financed, and so we had to put our heads together real fast and write out a feature script.
everything in this production was rushed, and the script was no exception.
Ben and I kind of came together and we did the bulk of the writing.
David and I wrote our halves. I wrote mine in 2 days. I think David was the same.
I kind of outlined the first half, he outlined the second half, and then we just kind of mixed and matched.
We just kind of smushed them together and just mowed it all over so it all worked together.
And then Judd came in and just threw all of his magic in.
We did probably 19 drafts of this, right, before it was done. 19 writing meetings.
But it was a really expedited writing process because, again, we didn't have a whole lot of time to get this done.
It all came together so quick.
When writing this, we really wanted to make sure we covered our bases with all the horror movie archetypes. So we made sure we got the jock, the hot girl, the goth, the virgin, the rebel, the nerd, and the token minority. When playing with these, we really wanted to see how we could kind of flip them on their head. So we ended up turning our jock into a closeted homosexual. We turned our rebel into a complete coward, and we turned our virgin into a badass.
Tell it to your forefathers, pussy.
Which I thought just would make this thing so much more fun and really send the message home that we're making fun of horror movies.
I appreciate horror genre, but at the same time there's a lot you can make fun of.
We really had to put our heads together. Luckily, Ben's also a huge history buff, a lot like me. So a lot of the historical references and jokes we got, he probably had a little more, I had more of the cinematic jokes.
I think anyone, even history majors, would be hard-pressed to find out all the history references we have in this because a lot of them are really out in the open.
Ike benign JFK, douchebag.
But there's also a lot of like subtle ones. I mean, we have Franklin Pierce drinking a flask the whole time because he was an alcoholic. We have William Henry Harrison refusing to put a coat on. You know, we have Andrew Jackson fighting with a walking stick and dying from an Indian bird. I knew I wanted to have James K. Polk in the film. Ever since I was a kid, listening to the They Might Be Giants song, did history reports on him, total nerd about James K. Polk. David and Judd brought up a good point.
No, James K. Polk is not going to be in this movie. That's stupid. We don't know who he is.
No one knows who James K. Polk is,
No one knows who the hell James K. Polk is. And I know they don't.
I remember I walked out to the rest of the crew and I was like, hey, you guys know who James K. Polk is? And nobody knew who he was.
So we made that the joke.
How could he not know who I was? He was writing an essay on me!
He feels really insecure that no one remembers him and no one knows who he is, even though he was a really influential president.
And that ended up being one of the best characters.
Now we have this Romeo and Juliet, star-crossed lovers, weird B-plot halfway through President's Day, which no one seems to see coming.
So that was kind of cool how that got written into the character.
Don't die. You're my destiny.
You mean your manifest destiny?
What's that?
Oh, God. I have no legacy.
Now, the character John Wilkes Booth, that came around because we kind of just asked the question, how do you kill undead presidents? Well, find someone who made their legacy doing just that.
This is so fucked up. Actually, kids, I did do a lot more than murder a bunch of presidents in my day. I was in the theater, you know. I can sing you a song, perhaps a dance, and a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2.
We'd always thought about bringing in John Wilkes Booth as this, like, Rambo character that they would, like, summon like Bloody Mary.
We also realized that that would also just bring up a whole myriad of jokes as far as what his beliefs were, all the racism he had, which would make him this kind of anti-hero character, and in the end, he cannot be a hero.
Oh no, he's John Wilkes Booth. Of course, he's a terrible person.
It's really nothing personal. I just don't like the color of your skin, is all.
That's incredibly personal.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I don't think you're black. I know that. I'm not an idiot. It's just, I know you're some kind of something, and that both angers and confuses me. You understand?
So the knowledge we kind of had just allowed us to bounce back and forth a lot of facts and jokes and stuff like that off each other, which ended up making the script all the more better.
Pretty much every cast and crew member has a line in President's Day.
I was very heavily involved in the writing process, and that was something that I absolutely loved.
By the end of the production, everyone wrote a little piece of President's Day.
We'd meet up and do that, and we would try to get in character and do all the voices so that we could at least hear what we thought they were going to sound like. We were way off, especially on John Wilkes Booth.
Michael Minto was our casting director, so he was the one who kind of helped us find most of our presidents, most of our teens.
I worked with Minto before. Me and Minto worked on a short film where I played like a rock and roll guy. I didn't know that he was our casting director.
He came in and wanted to audition for John Wilkes Booth, and he comes in, not only does great, but does even better than every other actor who came in.
Minto came in and played it more dark.
These men are not presidents, nor are they zombies, nor aliens. They are demons. Demons that have possessed the bodies of our American leaders.
It sounded nothing like it sounded in any of our heads when we wrote it, and we were like, no, that's better.
He just did so good, and he's the type of guy that just has so much energy as an actor that just, it's infectious.
Real song and dance, man. You care for a tune? And you don't did yeah.
When he got on set, everyone else kind of felt it, and he just ended up making everyone else better because he was so good.
President Lincoln has risen from the grave and is now leading a band of other presidents to hunt us down and kill us all.
Monica Ricketts, who ended up playing Lily, we found through a friend of Ben's, and she came in, she read for the part, and ironically we kept bringing her back for callbacks because there was something about this girl,
How can you still be bitter about this, Jake? It was first grade!
Monica was really good. It came down to, 3 girls that we had a really hard time choosing between.
And then we ended up realizing, oh, there's a reason we keep calling her back, it's because she's great.
Just everything worked out perfect with Monica. Monica was really good.
Maybe you should rethink fighting back.
It's our only chance.
Yeah, but for you, maybe it's not the best idea.
Wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Dax Hill, who ended up playing Clarence, was actually the last of the teenagers that we cast because there was a bunch of schedule things, and we had initially cast one guy, but he couldn't make it, and so then we kind of had to scramble and call Dax.
Now it's like, hey man, you want to be a Clarence since you auditioned and you were great?
All right, hell yeah, here we go. Time for our President's Day getaway. Is that right, Lily?
And Dax basically saved our lives because he was brought on 2 days before we started filming, principal photography.
He stepped in right away, learned his lines. pretty much the day of as he was doing it and still killed it.
He ended up just fitting the role so perfect, making it his own, and just made it hilarious.
All I've wanted out of this weekend was to grab me some grapes of wrath.
Yeah, I'm not doing this.
Brittany Rosoff, who played Ashley,
She was hilarious. She made me laugh.
we have her running around the woods in her underwear, just long hours, nearly naked in the freezing cold woods. She was such a trooper. She didn't complain once.
I almost broke a few times because of her, but I didn't. Did I?
Do you want to have some fun?
Oh, keep it in your pants, woman. I gotta go see if Clarence fucked my sister.
I don't think I broke.
And we have Mike Ostrowski, who was playing James K. Polk.
He came in and he was like, should I do an accident? And none of us had thought about that.
Would you like me to tell you about the Mexican-American War?
We were at war with Mexico?
Oh, baby, I'm gonna blow your mind.
He was one who understood the humor so well that he could kind of make the jokes punch really hard.
Immediately he was like, that's James K. Polk.
You looking for a duel, Polk?
I'll throw the gauntlet down anytime, any place.
Josh Nasser is a comedian, friend of mine. He stepped in and killed it. He killed it.
You done stepped on my feet!
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's alright, you just don't do it again.
All the comedians in this were good. Rob Bebenek, who played one of those Roosevelts. He played Teddy Roosevelt. He came in from Toronto.
You can run, but you can't hide! Rough Riders never lose a target!
Matthew Broussard was, I think, maybe the first president we cast. Because I ran into him at the Improv and I was talking to him about it. And he was like, oh yeah, could I play like the college douche guy? And I was like, oh, taken. And he was like, well, what about JFK? This is a really good guy, that like really good comic that wants to be in this movie. George Washington was a history buff. Rick.
Get along! Come on! Sweet Mount Vernon!
So Eric Myers, I wrote him an email, didn't really know him that well. And I was like, do you want to do this? And he was like, I love horror films, I want to be in this. Yes, so immediately came in, it was really cool.
But that's the thing about history. It has a way of repeating itself. And you might not like it when it does.
Especially with the characters of like Jake, Max, Brett, Rudiger. These are like characters that we all knew, the crew, that we were going to be playing. Like Chelsea was always going to play Max, David was always going to play Jake, I was always going to play Rudiger, Judd was always going to play Brett.
The evolution of Brett was fun from the original because Brett started off as my impression of what I like, my impression of a frat boy, like, oh, bro, oh, like I just want to play beer pong, like that kind of thing.
Ah! Yo! Bro! Dude, no, you got blood on my Aeropostale, man! Ah! Oh, bro!
Then we did the YouTube one, and I thought, there's no way they want me to do it that goofy. And I did it as a joke, like for one take, and there, you know, keep doing that.
We've got all the basic stereotypes of a high school movie. We got the awesome jock, the spastic goth girl, and the nerdy guy.
Brett was almost smart in that one. He like, and he wasn't gay yet.
Don't you die on me, Ruddy. I love you. I think I just learned something.
I don't know, I think it was around draft number 8, I got to David's place and he was like, oh, by the way, you're gay.
Ben and Judd are just the cutest couple you've ever met.
Judd is one of my best friends that I'll probably ever have in my entire life.
I have to give Ben pretty much the credit for making this whole thing. None of this would have happened without me, but without Ben, he really did put this together, but his character was hilarious.
Well, you see here, Lily, I think the inherent issue at hand is that you don't seem to be minding your own fucking business.
His hair was awesome.
That's fine.
Okay. Oh my god.
I'm so excited.
Yep. Right here. Oh man. I kind of love it if you leave that rat tail in the back.
Don't you fucking do
I'm so
Oh my god!
This is wonderful. This is just delightful.
Your head looks like a penis.
I mean, I can't argue with you because it looks a lot like a penis.
Maybe that's why Brett liked Rudiger so much. His head reminds
You're just a giant dick, buddy. No, I mean, it looks a lot like a penis. I'm just really excited to be part of a project that would let me humiliate myself enough to have this haircut.
You gonna go shoot up a school?
Fuck you.
Chelsea Taylor-Leach ended up playing Max, and she's one of my oldest friends. Met her in college. We've known each other for many years now.
This was definitely the first character-based film that I've ever done where I actually play someone other than myself.
So, what kind of music do you like?
I mostly listen to Talking Head records played backwards, the way they intended them to be.
She killed it. So funny.
The character of Jake is based off of that trope we see so many times in horror movies of the loner badass who's too cool for school and, you know, doesn't follow the rules kind of thing.
The rebel douche character, come on. It's Zuckerman.
It had kind of gotten discussed, what if Jake was actually secretly just a giant coward? And everything that he kind of acted, this cool guy thing, was all a farce.
Look, cards on the table, I have a really terrible anxiety. So after I saw a James Dean movie, I developed this strong silent persona as a defense mechanism.
Which I thought was interesting because I've actually never really played a part like that, so it was really fun to kind of stretch my acting muscle and get scared.
The shooting schedule for President's Day was going to take place throughout a single week.
Because of our budgetary constraints, we had 1 week to shoot basically 90% of a feature film.
Which we all thought was crazy when we first came up with it because we were like, we can't do this.
Especially as the assistant director, that was a nightmare that I've lived out.
Bridges kept presenting themselves for us to cross in this.
We had to work with a lot of different organizations, a lot of different companies, a lot of different people.
Plan out the budget,
schedule everything, coordinate the production,
figure out basically everything.
Like non-stop, back to back, back to back.
It was exhausting and daunting.
I ended up losing my job.
I had too much to do.
So many moments where we could have failed, and almost did, and probably should have.
We got a pretty good product in the end, but this was just, wow. This is like the Murphy's Law movies.
We had very little money and very little time to get this done.
It's so crazy that we did it for that amount of money.
If anything had gone slightly different, this film would not have been made.
I don't know. I guess I like a challenge.
We put our heads together to create the best image possible.
We pulled a lot of styles from different horror movies because we really wanted this to kind of look scary. That if you saw an image, you would go, oh, that's a horror movie.
We took the ideas from particularly old films like the Evil Dead movies.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. We even pulled some references from Cabin in the Woods.
And so that looking at it, you're like, this looks scary. But what's happening on screen is so ridiculous that that kind of irony comes through that way.
We wanted the eerie, disturbing imagery to contrast with all the wacky, ridiculous stuff that's happening on screen.
A lot of us wore a bunch of different hats on this project, and we realized, oh, hey, we need someone who's pretty good with costume direction and stuff like that. Chelsea kind of took it upon herself to design all the costumes for the main characters and just did such a great job.
When designing the costumes for all the characters in the movie, David and I went over color schemes. Each character was assigned a different color, and each character's color grew with the character. Lily's character is green. It complements her red hair. So Ashley and Judd were both bright colors, mainly yellow, orange, and pink. Rudiger's character was orange as well, but it was a dulled down orange. Rudiger's in love with Brett, so there's a connection there. Max's character, we decided to make her blue because her character is Brett's sister, so she's the opposite of Brett.
I've seen way more of you than I've ever wanted to.
Max, we're twins! It's like looking at your own penis! Hold my jacket!
I remember I had to find the neck wraps for all the presidents, which were random ties. and just wrap them around and tuck it. It was so much fun.
There's always a sort of kind of trial period that you have to get through when you're working with new people, but the nice thing about this is it kind of just worked seamlessly. There were a few bumps, but then after that, everyone was best friends. We decided to film in Idlewild, California because we needed somewhere that was woodsy and we needed a thick forest that yet looked beautiful but kind of scary. It all just kind of fit perfect. We basically came in, stormed the town, took it over for a week.
We had a total of over 30 people on the cast and crew. First of all, hi everybody. We're here. We're alive. Nobody's dead, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I remember when we first started filming, I gave my big grand speech to the whole cast and crew. Hi. My name's David.
Hi, David.
Nobody knew each other, so everybody was just meeting in that moment.
Stand up.
Yeah, alright. Oh, nice.
This is exciting. This is really exciting. We're here. It's beautiful up here. You guys are awesome. And I love how flexible you've been. I love how forgiving you've been. I love how devoted you guys have been. And I just really want to keep that motivation because I know this next week's going to be so much fun. And then at the end, we're going to have a hilarious movie. And it's going to be killer.
We are lacking in budget, lodging space.
Time.
We're shooting 90 pages in 5.5 days. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
As Teddy Roosevelt once said, the greatest gift that life has to offer is the chance to do good work that's worth doing. And I really hope that is what this is, and I truly believe it is.
That was beautiful. Beautiful. That was beautiful.
Does anyone have any questions real quick?
Yeah. Questions?
Can we do our first shot? I really want to shoot.
1, 2, 3.
Eagle!
Alright. So everybody immediately jumped in. We set up the makeup room upstairs, and those girls immediately went to work. What was the first shot we did? The one with me and Den, where I tried to smooch him.
I want you to do it first. I want you to feel super comfortable like this.
David is going too far with it. David is going too far.
Well, now when you guys act, it will be nowhere near as awkward.
We were in cramped quarters this whole week.
We had 2 cabins, one that we were filming in and the other one that we just had for lodging.
One time where I had to find David and Jordan beds.
Having that many people in such a small confined space for over 12 hours a day for an entire week.
By the end of this week, we're either going to all love each other or all going to hate each other.
Needless to say, people got sick.
This is a sex scene. Surprise sex scene.
Not like this! like that.
I was sick for a little over a week leading up to the movie, so I almost had no voice, and every single one of my lines has an exclamation point behind it, so I was without a voice, trying to recover that. Between every shot, I'm microwaving water, trying to drink hot water, salt water, gargling.
Sir. Oh, thank you.
We knew it was going to be cold up in the mountains where we shot. We just never really thought about how cold it was going to be. We were shooting long hours outside in the woods, and it ended up being around 30 degrees almost every night, if not colder. And we have characters like myself running around half naked. We have characters like Judd running around fully naked.
All right, Jake's drinking too! Bitch on!
And we have characters like Brittany running around in her underwear basically, and just trying not to get sick, trying not to look miserable, and trying not to die.
The blanket.
Blanket.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. We can do that again.
Different angle now, but yeah.
And then everybody started getting sick. My bad.
I ended up getting overstressed, underslept, and I got really sick.
Oh, David! Hi! How are ya?
And our lead actor is no longer a brown guy, which is one of the jokes. He's supposed to be brown, and he's just whiter than my ass in the movie.
I was paler than everyone else on set.
That wasn't good, because then he smooched Jordan, and Jordan got sick.
Myself and the director, David Zuckman, probably got the worst of it.
I thought Jordan was gonna die.
Our first assistant director, Jordan, ended up getting really, really sick.
I was pretty sure Jordan was gonna die. I looked up directions to the nearest hospital.
Could barely talk, was feeling like crap.
And then the day that we were supposed to be filming a lot of Lincoln's shots, There was a miscommunication, a scheduling error, and we needed someone to stand in for Lincoln, the big bad. Thankfully, the makeup department looked at me and they thought that I had a physique and a face that kind of represented Lincoln.
And when we ended up deciding like, oh, he's gonna play Lincoln, they really didn't have to do that much makeup on him because he looked like he was dying.
I lost my voice throughout the week, which I guess kind of helped the character of Lincoln a little bit.
That was a neat little stunt you two pulled back there. You almost got all of us.
I gave this ominous kind of spooky rasp to my throat, which sometimes we had to ADR in post.
Excellent. Bring him
I was pretty sure Jordan was gonna die.
So, in many of the scenes where you see me as President Lincoln and I look like death, it literally is because I am dying. And you know what? It ended up working out.
Oh my god, I look scary.
The makeup process was fun. By the end of it, it was a total transformative process.
Oh, sure, yeah, no problem.
What? I can't rap!
Take it away.
Seriously, but I can.
I was like, hey, do I need some makeup? And I didn't, because I'm pretty.
The makeup ladies tell me that of all of the presidents, I'm the most.
He is the most. He is definitely the most.
Maybe one more like across the arm.
Okay.
Like a little slash right here. And then one right here by his heart.
Okay. We should frame the edge of here a little bit.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm right here.
Your torn, dirty wardrobe.
That's right. Thank you. Oh, I would have been happy playing any number of presidents, but I love Taft.
You look fantastic.
Thank you. I don't think I'll have the pleasure of killing you myself. He's the only president that got stuck in the bathtub.
For we, the leaders of the free world, have returned for a lethal lesson in American history.
The fuck is he talking about?
I'm actually really excited for this scene.
What's the scene?
With Taft.
Oh yeah, man.
Just to see.
Oh, I want to run lines, but
As far as yesterday, that's what we didn't get.
okay.
So we can easily get that stuff.
Yeah, no, this is gonna work out.
Exactly. I'm not concerned about it at all. So.
Thank God for safety nets, man.
Yeah.
I will be forever shocked that I survived that week of shooting.
Okay, we are about to shoot Rutger's death scene.
Lots of blood.
When I say action, start screaming. And then when I go like this, that means you just got hit. So,
Wait.
action.
You heard my Rutger, you
Half the time, we can only have one take per shot.
We had one shot at a lot of these effect shots.
Carl, can't tell. Can you strip a gas?
Yeah.
Drinking water.
Not right now.
Jessica, can you...
3, 2, 1.
So many things could have gone wrong.
Guys, quiet on set. I'm
Okay.
the director.
What kind of shot do you want to
Whoa,
get?
hey.
I want a UCU,
What's
and it stands for ultra
What are you
close
doing?
up.
Actually,
And we're going to have our stunt coordinator, Travis, show you how to properly chop off a head.
Swing. Switch it. Boom. Dunk it. Boom. Alright, and when you get get hit in your stomach, take a beat before you hit him back. You don't have to do it quick. So you get boom, boom, take a beat, and then boom. When you go like that, it'll look fake. So he's gonna duck.
Okay.
So if he gets hit in his head,
my
that's him.
fault.
That's
Yeah.
his fault.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
And action.
You gotta not make the grunts.
No,
The hardest part.
No, it's alright.
No, you can actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright, so
Power Rangers noise. Yeah.
please key out.
Like a tennis.
Please go. Don't be quiet about this. Be like, like you gotta do it.
The rush of the set was very daunting at first.
Right away, it was kind of a shit show.
We were doing about 10 shots every 30, 45 minutes. Me and my camera operator, AJ, we put our heads together to create the best image possible in the shortest amount of time.
That was awesome. Blood cleanup.
Blood cleanup.
That's awesome. Yes.
I will not continue singing nonsense. Who's that?
What time is it next?
That's a camera staring at
I
me.
don't know what time we're eating.
Not again!
I'm just
Those
guessing
were
if
my
we're
old
supposed to be
days
at
when
the
I
square
used
then.
to best
What do you
in the
one? Look, dude. I know you're trying to make this a lot less offensive than it actually is, but
The truth is, they're US presidents murdering children. Let's just own up to the situation.
Hey, I don't care what they are or where they came from. I just want to make like Roanoke and disappear.
Dude, nice. Oh, you slid into home on that one.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
when
God,
he
this is
turns
so hard.
like that, do you catch his shot? Yeah. Sweet.
David's a great director. I want to work with him on a lot of other stuff. He's very professional and great writer.
So try one more time.
Oh my god. I would have looked like a mess.
Yeah, it's just weird moving.
I don't want to look sloppy.
When you were about to say they're aliens, you gave that pause. Can you and I like go in like what are they? And then it's like that's not right.
I don't want you to argue with the director.
I wouldn't, except
I need
for
you
in
to
a.
sit down.
I would argue a lot, but yeah.
I've worked with David Zuckerman before as an assistant director on some of his short films, and I knew it was a job that I'm capable of doing, like doing. I like working with this crew.
And you're also what else on set?
Oh, I was thinking of characters. No.
Pain in the ass.
My job.
It was great to have comedians on set.
I got so scared and confused when you were done.
You're the same as you were moments ago.
Everybody was yelling.
Judd's he's a stand-up comic, so he's one of those kind of out there, outrageous guys.
This is like a Gatorade commercial. What would you say that this is the Gatorade commercial?
I would say, don't touch my fucking Gatorade!
But Judd did such a great job of making sure that everyone was having fun, everyone was happy.
How's that purple flavor?
It's the, Frost!
And Judd's whole point on set was to make sure everyone's spirits were high. Because it was a tough week.
Put it to use. God damn it.
I need air. I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah. I hear it.
We need to hurry this stuff up.
It was a high-stress situation, close quarters.
Working on it.
It's okay that you're stupid.
I'm trying my best.
Because I was pretty sure everyone wanted to murder me at one point or another during the production.
Oh, no,
I'm so confused.
You throw up and
I've
then you
ruined
go
the
down.
movie. Okay, can we let's just, I mean, I've ruined it, right?
Everyone on the cast and crew saw me at my worst that week, and they're still my best friends.
I'm actually really close to it. So you could
Class.
actually
Turn it up.
it's really
So
low.
that's what I inspire.
Class.
Oh yeah.
So that's cool.
Luckily, we all love each other. We're still great friends.
I'm gonna murder everyone for you.
This film would not have happened if anyone was different in their roles.
It takes a lot to make a stew.
Everyone, I have to say, in the cast and crew, really pulled through. Just gave it their all, 100%.
I could not see myself making this with anyone else.
AJ, how you doing, man? How you feel? You good?
Mine's bigger than yours.
We're drunk on lack of sleep.
How's it sound, man?
Sounding.
The only reason this worked so well was because of the people we had working on it.
I love what this movie has been able to do. I think it's both funny, it's heartfelt, you can relate with the characters. All these different ideas that just came together so beautifully in a very well-written script.
Which kind of helped make President's Day just this weird, quirky, but yet highly intelligent film.
At the same time, you leave feeling completely entertained in every aspect.
I think the main thing that attracted me about the project was kind of the ambition.
to make a full-length movie to feed 40 people a day.
Shooting 80 to 90 shots a day.
Cast changes last minute.
Everybody on the crew's sick.
Super stressed.
It's 30 outside.
The literal blood and the literal tears.
And I would do it over and over again so many times.
I'd do it again. I'd do the whole thing.
I gotta say, it was one of the best weeks of my life that I'll never forget.
Most beautiful week of my fucking life.
It was all worth it.
It's one of those movies that you hope you get a chance like this to make it in your lifetime.
We all became a family that week. We came together.
I would not change a second of it.
I'm never gonna get another week like that.
Fine. Just ignore me all weekend.
Shut up.
What?
Shut up.
Who's out there?
It's just me, guys. I thought I saw you back there.
Brett lives!